here is basically what is to the build-up and the go home show edition for this Impact Wrestling show, where it is to build up to and from March 3rd, 2022, we're going to get right into it. So here we go. The instructor match with Eddie Edwards, who was part of Honor No More, who went up against Steve Mack, and the match I thought was pretty good. Match ended with Steve Mack winning because Eddie Edwards used the candlestick to get himself disqualified. In a way, to protect himself of losing, because Eddie Edwards is so valuable in Impact Wrestling. You know, even with him being the heel. So much for that, right? Well, after the match, Eddie Edwards continued with the assault as Team Impact came in, because he had Honor No More out there as well. Honor No More was there actually. They appeared afterwards. So Maria Kanellis is on back, and she says that Eddie Edwards came to the realization, whatever, to join Honor No More, and this pertains to pushing Impact Wrestling of everything, and then he calls them very delusional, and also when Vincent speaks up, and then this led to a match between Heath versus Vincent. So I think Scott Demore made an outside match in advance, I think. So the match happens, Heath versus Vincent. We have Team Impact at ringside for Heath, and you have Honor No More at ringside for Vincent. And the match ended with Heath with a wake-up call. Match itself, I thought it was decent, but Heath won because he's on one is being turned up against Moose for, so that's why he had to win. He needs the momentum going into the main event of to go up against Moose. So there you go. After the match, a wild brawl between Team Impact and Honor No More happened, and then Moose hits the ring, goes for the Lysol Spear, going for Heath to step aside from him as he collides right into Mack Taven, and then Heath hits the wake-up call onto Moose, and yeah, and then also Rich Swann started to be like a referee counting for Heath to pin Moose, and yeah, so basically the teasing that Heath could be the Impact World Champion if he could beat Moose at so, which ain't gonna happen. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But they go. Let's say about that. Masha Silverfish. She went up against Rachel's Rose. I see her wrestle on YouTube plenty of times. She's pretty good. I don't remember if she wrestled on NXT, but she wrestled on AEW. She wrestles Reality of Wrestling. She wrestled somewhat Indie Promotion as well. She's, I don't think this is her first time wrestling on Impact Wrestling either, but this is her match against Silverfish, and also it's a match which is showcasing more of Silverfish dominance and her being unbeaten on since starting with Impact Wrestling. Tama Tonga, he feels betrayed from Politico, which is to Jay White, and also Environment Design shows up, trying to obtains to like they don't like each other in a way because Destiny and Harper Design, but are trying to to work some differences aside to work together against Bullet Club, which we'll get to that eventually. Which I think that's gonna be the main event. We'll see. Mike Bailey tells Ace Austin he thinks they have a shot of becoming the next Impact World Champions, and I think he may enjoy like a little jab at Matt Fulton because. Pertains to Ace Austin and Matt Fulton, with them being a tag team, they never win matches as a tag team, and they can't even win the tag titles. So that just shows you how much they value that team and how much they value Matt Fulton of his mystique. So Knockout World Team Champion Cassie Lee being played by Jessica K versus Madison Rain, being played by the influence of Tennille Dashwood and Caleb. And the match ended, with Cassie Lee winning because Madison Rain allowed herself to be distracted because of what Caleb was doing. And I said to myself, why does she even care? You know, it's whatever. They're trying to make this whole thing where they want us to care of why Madison Rain should even care about Caleb when she's married and has kids of her own. why she's trying to get, even care about what Caleb is doing with the influence. I mean, with the inspirations, I should say. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. But whatever. Jake something. He's basically a real package of pertains to him against Trey Miguel. That's Tasha Steelz with Savannah Evans, versus Chelsea Green. And I think Mickey James was on commentary. Yeah, she was. So the match happens between Tasha Steelz and Chelsea Green, and it was decent. So as promised, Mickey James did not get involved, which it led to Savannah Evans getting involved in the match. Led to obviously in the end, Tasha Steelz winning the match, and rightfully so, because she's one that needs to be prepped up to be the Knockouts champion. If they do decide to pull that pool, the pool, not pool. Now I know what I'm trying to say now. I'm a little distracted. Because someone look at me. Well, anyways, so basically to get her propped up to be the Knockouts champion. We'll get to more of that eventually. Backstage, digital media champion Mack doesn't get the respect that he deserves, because there was doing some segment where random people are coming to Mack Cardona. It was weird. It was kind of strange how they did it, so it's whatever. Jonah defeats Giant Swinger once again. We're not. What to say about that? But he tried to add insult to injury onto the Giant Swinger. All of a sudden, the French-Canadian Frankenstein, PCO, confronts Jonah, and they start having a clash of monsters with each other, because they're gonna be wrestling each other at. So that's what they did there. And I'll talk a little more about this whole thing with PCO and Honor No More, that whole situation. I'll talk a little more about that eventually. An interview with Judah Miller, interviewing the champ of Gianna Barroso of being the AAA Reina de Reinas champion and the Women of Honor Women's World champion. Pertains to this whole champ challenge that's going to be had. So then also Jasila Shaw shows up, and then Lady Frost shows up, and then also this led to where Gianna Barroso will be so generous to defend both belts. So. We'll get to that. Favorite time. Bullet Club, Jay White, Chris Bay, and the Impact World Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, versus Vibe by Design and the Girls of Destiny, with Eric Young at ringside. Match happened, as it made pretty good, with Bullet Club getting the win. After the match, the Good Brothers and the Girls of Destiny started to continue the fight all the way to the back. And then the rest of the Bullet Club fighting with Vibe by Design at ringside. Or in the ring anyway. And that's how the show ended. So there you go. That was your Golden Show edition for Impact Wrestling, where it is 2. As far as our overall strength for the show for this Golden Show edition of March 3rd, 2022, I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. Pretty good show, pretty good Golden Show, and they really deliver on the key matches that they want us to watch. Which is to watch on Impact Plus, which is to Impact 2022. So there you go. So I'm gonna go with the quick results here for Impact for March 5th, 2022. So give me a moment as I find it. And here we go. There was a dark match that featured Mike Bailey defeating Aiden Prince in 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And then we have 2 pre-shows with Lady Frost defeating Jasila Shaw in 6 minutes and 4 seconds. And then another pre-show, Rich Swann and Mack defeating Honor No More's versus to The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett being up by Maria Canales in 7 minutes and 55 seconds. As far as the main show, Trey Miguel successfully defended his Impact Exhibition Champion title in 11 minutes and 30 seconds by defeating Jake something. Eddie Edwards from Honor No More defeated Rhino in 8 minutes and 44 seconds. The influence of Madison Rayne and Tina Dashwood defeated the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay to become the new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Jono defeats PCO in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. The Champ, Jack Barrazzo, versus Chelsea Green, rotates to the Champ Challenge, where Chelsea Green chose the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship title in 8 minutes and 18 seconds, with Deonna Purrazzo retaining still the Champ, because the Champ is here. Sasha Steelz with Savannah Evans defeated Impact Knockouts World Champion Mickie James to become the new Impact Knockouts World Champion in 14 minutes and 6 seconds. And congratulations to Sasha Steelz. Bamba Design, Eric Young, and Joe Doring with Dina defeating the Good Brothers of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson with Chris Bay at ringside to become the new Impact World Tag Team Champions in 11 minutes and 44 seconds. And finally, the main event was Moose defeating Keith to successfully defend his Impact World Championship title in 12 minutes and 9 seconds. And those were your quick results. Rotates to Impact 2022. If you want to see my full review, my full details of it, that video is going to be up pretty soon. In fact, it should already be up, but basically just let you all know that. Okay? Okay. Thirsty. Don't worry, it's Pepsi. Anyways, so let's continue on with this March results for Impact Wrestling from the fallout of Sacrifice. And yes, this time I'm not going to miss the weekends thing now. That's over now. So, but for March 10th, 2022, you have, let's see, Josh Alexander kicking off Impact Wrestling. He talks about his shocking return from Sacrifice upon the attack on Moose at the defeating Heat for the title at Sacrifice. And he talks about signing the contract to be with Impact Wrestling for multi-years and signing another contract to face Moose at Rebellion. And he vows revenge. He vows redemption. He vows rebellion against Moose for what he did to him at Bound for Glory in front of his family and all. And as far as what Josh Alexander goes, who takes this whole thing, I'm like, great man. We're finally gonna get that match between Moose and Josh Alexander. And all of a sudden, Honor No More comes out in Eddie Edwards and the rest of Honor No More, except PCO, which I'll get to more of that later on. So Eddie Edwards comes out, and I know what this is gonna be about. Eddie Edwards is like, they're going with Josh Alexander instead of going with Eddie Edwards. The whole thing, it should have been me and all that, and blah blah blah, whatever. Makes no sense at all of why Eddie Edwards even wanted to turn on Impact Wrestling and turns back on Impact Wrestling, betray Impact Wrestling, or because they went with Josh Alexander over Eddie Edwards. So Josh Alexander talked about this whole thing about how Eddie Edwards is the one who betrayed them, and all of a sudden, of all people to talk over on Josh Alexander, to interrupt Josh Alexander, Matt Taven. Oh boy, Matt Taven. So Matt Taven is talking about, don't talk to Eddie Edwards that way. He's the former Ring of Honor World Champion, a former Ring of Honor World Television Champion, a former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, a former Impact World Champion, and blah, 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 blah. Matt Taven says, I am Matt Taven, which by the way, that's his catchphrase. That's been his catchphrase since Ring of Honor, when he starts being pushed as a singles wrestler. Well, even before he started becoming a singles wrestler, which tends to his own form, his own vision of what the kingdom should be about, where he kept saying, I am Matt Taven. He kept saying that every time, even with him being a heel, always being annoyed with that crap. And then he starts doing this here once again, where he's like, I am Matt Taven. And all I can say is like, who gives a fuck? But he says, I am Matt Taven, the whole thing of, and I am a former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, a former World Championship Champion in Ring of Honor, and a former World Champion for Ring of Honor as well. And I said to myself, yeah, and guess what? You were one of the worst ones. Matt Taven, we're just all of the Ring of Honor World Champions that Ring of Honor has ever put the belt on the wrestlers in Ring of Honor, Mack Taven was one of the worst. Not saying he was a bad worker, because he's a good worker. He is a good wrestler. He worked hard to what he's done, what he accomplished in Ring of Honor in a way. But him being world champion, he was never on that level like a Jay Lethal. Never on that level like a Jonathan Gresham, a Bryan Danielson, a CM Punk, an Austin Aries, a Samoa Joe, an Alan Cole, baby. You can even name others that were Ring of Honor world champions. Jay Briscoe. I'm sorry, Matt Taven was never on that level. He was not even on Kyle O'Reilly's level, because Kyle O'Reilly used to be a Ring of Honor world champion. Now pertains to Michael Elgin. And this is no disrespect to Matt Taven, but let's call a spade a spade. Matt Taven as Ring of Honor world champion was a fail, a flop. Should have never happened. Just like Evil from New Japan Pro Wrestling should have never been Intercontinental champion and IWGP Heavyweight champion. It is what it is. Matt Taven was being annoyed with that whole "I am Matt Taven," and then Josh Alexander says to to counter that with him being Ring of Honor World Champion, saying that, "Oh yeah, I remember you being Ring of Honor World Champion. Well, when you being champion, the company went out of business. Well, technically, it didn't went out of business because he was champion, but it didn't really help Ring of Honor's case of being on that pedestal was anymore, because Matt Taven's attempt of trying to be the guy to carry the banner of Ring of Honor, which was never that case at all. Because to be honest with you, I'm being nice about this, but most of you are going to be me about this too. Matt Taven as Ring of Honor World Champion, he sucked as Ring of Honor World Champion. So this led to basically Honor No More beating up on Josh Alexander. He tried to hold his own until Team Impact came out to save, and then Impact Executive Vice President Scott D'Amore comes out to help out, basically make a match. So it's gonna be a 1-1 match between Eddie Edwards and Rich Swann. And Kenny King to go up against William Mack. So there you go. William Mack versus Kenny King happened, and a shocking point of this, William Mack wins. Then against William Mack. William Mack is cool. He's very talented, but here you got Kenny King coming back to Impact Wrestling after Ring of Honor went on the hiatus, and you have him lose. Why even bother bringing Kenny King back if you're gonna have him lose? Basically, back when he first started in TNA, during the days of TNA Wrestling, and then we're taste to he come back multiple times in Impact Wrestling. Back on the losing streak, back to being nothing important. Scott D'Amore gives Moose an ultimatum to sign the contract, because Josh Alexander already signed the contract since Sacrifice. And Moose got to sign the contract, otherwise he'll be stripped of the title. So he's got to next week next episode in February to sign the contract, which we'll get to. Excuse me. John Skyler versus Crazy Steve versus Ace Austin with Madman Fulton ringside. And to see who's going to qualify at Rebellion in this Exhibition Championship match, which could be a three-way match that's going to feature, obviously, who's ready in the match. Trey Miguel, who's the Exhibition Champion. So the match happens, and Ace also wins, which is a pretty good match, by the way. Roger Singh comes out, confronts, bear with me, folks, I'm going to try to pronounce his name here, Bhupinder Jura, I'm assuming. I'll just call him by Jura. But basically ask him why he hasn't been returning his calls or whatever, blah blah blah. Also, Larry D shows up. Now here's the thing with Larry D. Larry D was supposed to be gone from Impact Wrestling, and now they're doing this whole thing where he comes back, where he's being he's being disgruntled, and he wants, I guess he wants his job back in the way. I don't know what they're doing this whole thing, but basically he lets out Sid, and then Screwjaw, gets in the face of Larry D. This led to a match with the next show of Mack Wrestling. So there you go. Fought by design, the effect of the alliances, or should I say the former alliances of the Good Brothers, and then they finally became the tag team champions, which was great. Thank God they got the belts off the Good Brothers, because the Good Brothers were go heat for me, and I was getting tired of being the tag team champions in the Impact Wrestling. So thank God that the Viper Design beat the Good Brothers at Sacrifice. But Eric Young was basically cutting promo with his two. It's been done by design, because they're by design. Knockouts World Champion Tasha Steelz, great. Savannah Evans, and the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, the Influence, which by the way, boo. The Influence themselves. Madison Ray and Tuna Dashwood were killed there. They still doing something with Caleb and the inspiration. I don't know why. Maybe it will come at Rebellion. Maybe it'll be some type of rebellion in a way where it's just to the Influence. Sorry about that, folks. Noise from that child. But anyways, they go up against Mickey James, Justin Green, and the Influence of, the inspiration is just Cassie Lee and Jason McKay. An all-star knockouts tag team match, they call it. There you go. But match happens, it was alright for what it was. The babyface won. There you go. Following what happened at Sacrifice with PCO being destroyed, by the way, by Jonah. Jonah just basically does a video promo here that he doesn't believe in monsters, but monsters believe in him, and claims that he broke PCO's neck and proving that the world that he is indeed human. So thank you. He got promo there on Jonah. Don't know why he let him go. Bullet Club addressed the Impact Zone. Jay White talks about how he defeated Alex Shelley in the great match that they had. And then we just looked at dropping the belts to Viper Design. Not much to say about that, so I really don't care about the rest losing the belts though. Cause I'm not crying. The Good Brothers losing the belts because I was actually happy with them losing the belts. To me, they were not doing nothing for those belts, anyways. But anyways, all of a sudden, Al Sherry comes out, and basically, he was offended by Jay White, who didn't shake his hands at Sacrifice after that match. And Jay White says, "Nothing personal, it's just business," and claims that every pro wrestling has happened because of him. And Al Sherry responds by saying that Jay White happened because of him. And all of a sudden he brings up his longtime tag team partner, Motion Machine Guns' own Chris Sabin. So yes, Motion Machine Guns are now back together, which is great. And they're going to do a match on the next show of Impact Wrestling, which I'll do a review that one after this, okay? But it was good though, it was good. Josh Alexander tells Scott D'Amore that he should be in the main event against Eddie Edwards. And not Rich Swann. But Scott D'Amore against Josh Alexander a match against Honor Wars guy and Matt Taven, which could be on the next show of Impact Wrestling, which we'll get to. So I'm like, oh boy. The failed Ring of Honor World Champion is going to be facing Josh Alexander. Josiah Shaw, the quintessential diva, and Lady Frost interrupted Dion Barrazo of the interview once again. Pertains to getting a shot at the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. The Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, I meant to say. And for the AAA Reign of the Reigns champion. And Dion Barrazo was being polite and being a good person and being decent and I'm trying to remember the other word. She's being feeling generous. There you go. And she's going to put both belts on the line. And again, I already talked about Sacrifice. I did that review of it, the solo review, when it takes to the full review of it, where I made a mistake of that whole thing. That I thought it would happen on the Gong show, but it happened the fallout of it instead. So I got confused there. So I apologize for that. But that's not for the next show. Impact Wrestling. Rich Swann versus Eddie Edwards in the main event. Eddie Edwards wins. The match was good. It was good for what it was. And that was basically it. Honor Moore joins in the ring to celebrate with Eddie Edwards, and that was it. That's how the show went here. So yeah, not a bad show. Not a bad show at all. I'll give this show, or just do on the March 10th, 2022. I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. And there you go. Now it's time to rock the ball head, because let's continue on with the March 17th, 2022 edition of Impact Wrestling's pertains to March, the March results for it. Okay. Let's see. The Bullet Club, Jay White and Chris Bay versus Motor City Machine Guns in a great tag team match to kick off the show, with Motor City Machine Guns getting the win. Now, there was a little controversy of it when it comes to when the Motor City Machine Guns hit their finishing tag team move called the Guns. The Guns hit Skull onto when they hit Skull and Bones, that's the finish move. Basically the net breaker into a splash off the top rope combination onto Chris Bay. Jay White broke the pin, but it was too late by that point. He was like this close of breaking it up, but then I double checked too, by the way. Which is the replays of it, and yeah, Jay White was too late. Unfortunately, it was too late, and the match ended with Bullet Club winning the match. So yeah, there was talking about how it's controversial in a way. Which it was kind of controversial when you think about it. Again, if you look at the replay of it again and do it in slow mo, which I did that, I could clearly see, clear the day. I could see how it was this close that Jay White almost broke up the pin. So, but Motion Because won, and that was a great tag team match. Steve Macklin versus Rhino happened. I don't remember if I mentioned the promo that Rhino did, where it is or Steve Macklin that did for the last review I did. I mean results, I should say. But basically, with the whole thing happened at Sacrifice, with Rhino being screwed over by Steve Macklin, which I talked about that already on Sacrifice, that review of it. That's what led to this match here, and it also been a decent match, who I was. But Steve Macklin doesn't win the match. And the thing about this was Steve Macklin hit Rhino's finish move, the gore, onto Rhino. And like, whoa! I didn't see that one coming. I was not expecting that at all. Well, he did. He beat him. He basically embarrassed and humiliated Rhino by beating him with his own finish move. What do you also that, huh? The Inspiration they forgive Caleb for what happened at Sacrifice, about how the belts were given to the Influence. Inspiration are not mad at Caleb K for that. So basically, they wanted him to know that, and that was it. Again, they're teasing more this whole thing where Caleb could be leaving the Influence to go with the Inspiration, which I wouldn't mind that, because fuck the Influence. Sorry about that, folks. But it's whatever. We'll see how that goes, though. He told Rhino that they're better than this, and then they catch on the tag titles. Then they go after Mamba Design, get back to why they're in the first place, and that has to become Impact World Tag Team Champions. So, and Rhino's getting fired up and everything too, and people's getting fired up. I'm like, good, awesome. I'm glad they're getting back on track here. Let's see how it turns out. Larry D versus Guja. And the match I thought was pretty decent, with Guja defeating Larry D. After the match, because you had Roger Singh there. At the match, also Brian Myers was there too, by the way, commentary. With his alternative commentary. And then also Darby Morrissey comes out, continues to harass Brian Myers, and then Roger Singh tried to make peace again with Guja, and Guja just shows Roger Singh down as he leaves, and during Morrissey, he gets Roger Singh and they puts him to a table, and there you go. So I don't know what's the issue between Guja with Roger Singh. I don't know what if there's some trust issues, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. They never really explained much of it on the history of between these two guys, or why Guja doesn't want to have anything to do with Roger Singh, doesn't trust him in the way, and why he keeps avoiding him, and he keeps ignoring him, he keeps blowing him off. I don't know. I don't know what the reason with that is. I don't know what the purpose is, but that's the story, and we have to see how that unfolds. So, and then Morrissey is going to continue to go after Brian Myers until they get that match, which I'm assuming is going to happen at Rebellion. So, we get no qualifying match to determine who's going to be in the three-way X Championship title match with Ace Austin and Trey Miguel. So, Ace Austin says something about he's sure that his new friend Mike Bailey will do the same when it takes him to win his match. I guess it's the next show. Yeah, probably it's the next show. So, I'm sorry, I thought it was on the show. And now that I remember it, it was not on that show. It was on the other show, which I haven't got a chance to see it. So, Arnold Moore has some message to Josh Alexander, where it pertains to Matt Taven in the main event against him. And all of a sudden, Alicia Edwards shows up. She shows up and she's still upset and demands to speak to Eddie Edwards about this whole situation. So Eddie Edwards and Alicia Edwards talking this privately while Arnold Moore leaves. And yeah, once again, Alicia Edwards was doing a great job here with her talking and her acting. And like, awesome, that's just good. Yeah, but again, I don't know what's going to lead to. Maybe it's all an act. Maybe Alicia Edwards is in cahoots with them this whole time and pretending to go against Eddie Edwards just to turn on them, on Impact Wrestling, to turn on, to be alongside with Arnold Moore. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. We shall see. I guess I should. I'll say before I really end this whole thing. So, I'll wait till then. But then we get to the champ, the Virtuoso, the AAA Reign of the Rails champion and the Ring of Worlds champion, Deanna Purrazzo versus Josiah Shaw versus Lady Frost in the three-way for both belts. The champ is confident in this match. So the match happens. It's pretty decent. There was some spots that were a little off cue, but throughout that all, it's going to be pretty decent. With Deanna Purrazzo ends up winning the match. So there you go. And she beat Lady Frost probably. Then we get an interview of Gina Miller interviewing Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander vows to take care of Arnold Moore when it takes to Matt Taven, and then when it takes to Rebellion, he's going to take care of Moose if he signs that contract before the end of that night, which we'll get to more of that when we get to what happened with the whole thing. So Scott DeWood grants that the Group Brothers will get their tag title rematch against Sven Design on next Impact Wrestling show, which I'll get to that, and the Lumberjack match probably. And also reveals that the winners of that match will go to Rebellion to defend the titles in the first time ever 8-team elimination challenge. Wow. I can't wait to see how that looks. Jonah beats Zicky Dice. Outlandish, And they try to destroy him once again with the Tsunami Splash. All of a sudden, out comes PCO. The Frankenstein, the French-Canadian Frankenstein. He gets basically carted out on the stretcher, on the gurney. And then he was left there, and all of a sudden, he comes back to life. The whole thing of his stick of him being the French-Canadian Frankenstein from the state of Ring of Honor and from the Indies is that he comes up back alive, sits back up like he's the Undertaker, Michael Myers, Kane, whichever you want to say, and then the commentators will say he's alive, he's alive. So I love that aspect of it, especially where it happened back in 2019 when Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling did the whole Supercard of Honor, or the the G1 Supercard show they did in Madison Square Garden, where PCO was throw a palm bomb outside the ring by God, and it was a nasty bump by the way, but PCO, he's like ah ha ha ha, and he's like, and then the coach's like, he's alive. Awesome, man, and that got a huge pop during that night. One of the biggest pops they saw on that night. It was incredible, unbelievable. So PCO, he's back, he's alive here. He goes up, and Jonah is beside himself. Like, I can't believe he couldn't believe it. Like, and then also they start fighting, and then the whole securities officials was trying to pull him apart in a way. PCO comes to the top rope because Jonah at this point was outside the ring, and then they're trying to hold him off. And Jonah sees him on the top, and then screw this. He walks away. As PCO lands onto everyone on the pile of bodies of securities and referees. Well, I don't know the referees in the two, but Jordan walks away and he retreats. So like, wow. Now I will save all my thoughts about the whole Arnold Moore and PCO situation before I end the video. Okay, so I promise you that. But it was good. It was great. The Knockouts World Champion Sasha Steelz attacked Mickie James during her concert. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah, it was ridiculous how they did that, by the way. What's WWE? WWE did this before too, by the way. But what's it with everyone doing these whole thing where they're doing a concert, singing, whatever, and all of a sudden a wrestler comes after them and attack them? What is with that? I don't know. It's weird how they do that type of thing. But hey, the thing else on the box though, I think it's great. But Jim Miller interviews Mickie James and Chelsea Green, who was there by the way, and basically retains to the next in-person wrestling show, a street fight between Mickie James and Chelsea Green. I mean, no, Tasha Steelz, I should say. Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz for the, I'm assuming it's gonna be for the title. Yes, actually it is for the title. Mickie James is gonna take care of Tasha Steelz, and then Chelsea Green says something about she wants to get involved, because she knows Savannah Evans is gonna get involved too. But it says wherever Tasha Steelz goes, Savannah Evans there as well. Mickie James is like, look, I know your heart's in the right place, but she wants to do this on her own, and all. So, basically the whole AJ Styles, I'm gonna do it on my own. That whole thing. So we'll see how that turns out. Masha Summerfish versus Aerie. You asking me who's Aerie? I don't know. I don't remember very much of her. But Masha wins. There you go. Not much to say about that. Again, it's to showcase Masha Summerfish of her being dominant, undefeated, unbeaten. So, she'll send the Impact Wrestling. Outlandish Zicky Dice. He's banged up, but he's being interviewed by Gina Miller, and he talks about he's going to go back to wrestling school. I say to myself, go back to wrestling school. So, all of a sudden, Johnny Swinger shows up, and he says he's got a video promo to show everyone pertains to his own wrestling school, right? So he did a video promo, basically pertains to promoting Swinger's Dungeon. Swinger's Dungeon. Oh, you gotta love Johnny Swinger, man. You gotta love him. And I thought it was funny too, by the way. And they had Lance Storm on there. He's like, it's a phony dungeon. The way what, like, it's a phony pro wrestling school, wherever it was. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. But anyways, I'm gonna see where that goes though. And finally, the main event. Matt Taven, or should I say, I am Matt Taven. Whatever.
because nobody cares. Being covered by Maria Canales. Maria Canales ends up being on commentary as Matt team goes up against Josh Alexander, and the match was pretty good with Josh Alexander winning. And there you go. So we're expecting to see Moose, right? To eventually show up at Scotty Boy's office, maybe, or maybe try to attack Josh Alexander, and then sign a contract on him or whatever. Instead, Moose decided to show up to the home of Josh Alexander in Canada, where his wife, Jay Chung, who used to be a wrestler. I think she still wrestles though, but as of now she hasn't been wrestling that much because she's been home to look after the kids and everything. But Moose shows up to the home of Josh Alexander, basically pertains to let for the wife to tell her husband, and also the son for the son to tell his daddy that he will see him at Rebellion. So this is a whole new low for Moose. Now, if Moose wanted to send a message, now obviously it's a storyline and all, but if Moose wanted to send a message to Josh Alexander, I mean, doing the one thing at Back for Glory was one thing, but the fact that he decided to do this, to go a whole new low, to go to their home, basically scaring the wife, scaring the kid, and then he leaves. He leaves in peace. He didn't do anything to them other than just talk to them. But if Moose really wants to send a message, he could have just sent a message, attacking Josh Alexander like how Josh Alexander did to Moose. But instead, Moose decided to do the heelish thing that any heel would do. Basically, what Moose did there, he pulled a Samoa Joe from WWE, which is the whole thing of Samoa Joe show up to the house of AJ Styles to confront his wife Wendy and his kids, which never happened, by the way, because WWE would be too crucified for that, by the way. So, but there you go, folks. That was your there you go. That was your show for the March 17th, 2022 edition of it. Overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. Nothing but good shows here from Impact Wrestling. What tends to everything they build up for. What tends to their matches, their shows on Impact Plus, and what tends to their pay-per-view, especially tends to this pay-per-view, Rebellion. So there you go. All right, YouTuber, let's get back to more of these results for the March edition for Impact Wrestling's review. The show from March 24th, I should say, of 2022. And here we go. So on the road to Rebellion, excuse me, that's gonna be in, at the 23,000, the 2300, I should say, 2300 arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Josh Alexander walks into the building, pissed off because what happened with the whole thing with Moose invading the home. Well, not invading the home, most likely, but coming to the home unannounced, and did what he did. Forced his way into the home. Chance to giving that big blow to the wife of Josh Alexander, and then you see the son, chance to being hugging on the mom's leg, I'm pretty sure I saw that image, and that in the, and also the video, if even watched the show of how it went down. But Josh Alexander has to the ring. He's pissed off. He's furious. He's calling out Moose. Moose comes out. Moose, keeps pushing the envelope even more further, and also just let Josh Alexander go after him and start fighting with him, all the way to the back when they enter to the Raptors in the way, and Josh Alexander was threatening to throw Moose off of it, and who comes to save, of all people that you never think of, to save the life of Moose?
was Madman Fulton. As soon as I saw that, I said to myself, oh man, this is not looking good for his persona, his character. You basically just killed that mystique now of him being a monster. So now there's something to come for that one, but we'll get to that when we get to the final episode of that for the March one. But as soon as I saw that, I like there's gotta be a reason why they did this with Madman Fulton to save Moose from getting thrown off by Charles Alexander for what Moose did. Now I don't condone that either, by the way. I don't condone throwing him off of a balcony. But if you could have someone save the life of Moose, the last person I would ever think of ever doing that was Madman Fulton. So of course, Josh Alexander punches Madman Fulton, and then you have some other rosters. You even had Ace Austin there. You have Guja. I'm assuming that's how I say his last name, but I digress. But that was basically it. And then Josh Alexander was confronted by Executive Vice President Scott Moore about this whole situation, and basically the whole thing of keeping your emotions in check once again. And then Josh like his emotions in check, but when it comes to his family, you don't tell me to keep my emotions in check for that. So, yeah. And he's got a point there. William Mack versus Loretta K versus Mike Bailey. Winner gets to be in the three-way match with Ace Austin and Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel, excuse me. For the X Division Championship title at Rebellion. Match was good with Mike Bailey win the match. So, now you got Ace Austin and Mike Bailey, who's a unit in Impact Wrestling. Which I think that's why they wanted to get rid of Madman Fulton. But we'll get to that. But yeah, the match itself was like I said, was pretty good. So now we got some stakes on there between Mike Bailey and Ace Austin. They want to be X Division champion. Trey Miguel got it. So there's gonna be like some whole thing where can they I can't believe I'm saying this word because this is what WWE always muse. And every time where I hear about this, you also hear from every podcasters too as well. For those that I watch and that that poke fun of it in a way. I'm doing the same thing too because this is what WWE does too. But this is not what Impact Wrestling is doing right now. But we're taking some commentators. It wouldn't surprise me if they would say that. But the whole thing of can they coexist is the word. Or there's no way to say it. Like for example, instead of using those big words, just say, "Can they get along?" There's no way to say it. Anyways, Bullet Club vows to right the wrongs. With the whole thing with Jay White and Chris Bay losing to the Machine Guns in a controversial finish, which it wasn't controversial. In a way it is kind of controversial. But I look back at it again in slow mo. The three hit as in a split second that Jay White broke up the pinfall. So it was a 3 count for Motion Machine Guns, but we're getting a rematch again for them. I think it's on the next episode. Well, I'm trying to remember if it was not, but and also the Good Brothers vow to get their titles back on this night, I should say. But we'll get to that again. Roger Singh, tries to have Guja, to be alongside with him. Tends to give him a chance after chance after chance. So we get the return of the Indian Lion, Shira. Can't wait to see how that match is going to be built up between Shira and Guja. So, and by the way, they show Shira having a match against Christian Steve on Before the Impact. So that's basically why he's back. So where's Roger Singh, by the way? I mean, not Roger Singh. He is there obviously, but where's Rohit Raju? What happened to him? Did he get hurt or something? I don't understand. I can't remember the last time what happened with him on the show. That's I don't remember. Yeah, I already can't remember. The last thing I could think of is Josh Alexander. That's the only last thing I could think of. Other than that, I don't know what happened with him after that. So, Steve Macklin versus Heath with Rhino at ringside. The match itself was decent. At one point, Steve Macklin was confirmed by Rhino out on the outside. Steve Macklin ran himself into the steel steps, pretending that Rhino did that to him. So referee tells him, "You're out of here." You know, the whole thing of "You're out of here." So the match continued. Steve Macklin wins. He may have cheated. I think he may have. Yeah, he had ropes. He used ropes for leverage because Heath was trying to go for his wake up call onto Steve Macklin. He held the ropes. He hit hard on the mat, and then Steve Macklin goes for the cover, legs on the ropes, and then all of a sudden, at the match, you know, Rhino comes out of nowhere and gets payback to Steve Macklin by giving him the gore. And Steve Macklin had a smile on his face on the outside, and then that was it. So Heath and Rhino are smiling about it in a way, and like, yeah, even though they got a smile about it, but here's the thing: Steve Macklin got the win on both guys. So either way, it don't matter, because and that's why Steve Macklin smiling either way either, because he still got the win, he still got the L, despite the embarrassment that he's got from the gore by Rhino. So Tennille Dashwood did her All About Me talk show. Didn't watch, didn't care. Moving on. John Stringer with his Swinger's Dungeon. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's not. All the guys. Yeah, that's not. We're not up to that yet. Oh yeah, I remember that. He was on the show too, by the way, because cause I think Master Ray did the whole locker room talk too. And again, because you got Tennille Dashwood there and Master Ray involved with Tennille Dashwood, don't care. Moving on. But John Stringer was of what I saw was there, and I don't know what he said. I don't know what was there to say. I didn't want to pay attention to it. The Impact locker rooms are surrounding the ring, pertains to Bound by Design versus the Good Brothers for the Impact World Tag Team titles. Now here were the Lumberjacks, by the way, if they are here. But before basically Eric Young and Joe Doring being Diener is one of the Lumberjacks, but they go up against the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. The Lumberjacks were, if I can remember, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, Ace Austin, if I can remember. Again, if I can remember who was in there. Mike Bailey, Trey Miguel, Jake something. I don't know if Roger Singh was there. Crazy Steve, Black Taurus. I'll get to the other ones, guys. If I'm missing one else. I already mentioned Diener from the beginning. I don't think Chris Bay was. No, I don't think Chris Bay was out there. Not even Jay White. And good thing they weren't, because there's no need for them to be there. So. I think Chris Sabin was there and Alex Shelley. I could be wrong, but I think I could swear I saw Chris Sabin. Okay, that's all I can think of. And also Honor No More. And as soon as I saw Honor No More there, I was thinking to myself, strange. Why are they in there? And then it comes clear today of why they were in there too. Which I'm not fond with that, by the way, what they're gonna do here. But we'll get to it. But the match itself was, it was whatever. I think it was basically from the beginning a clusterfuck to, in a way of, it was getting better, and then all of a sudden began more clusterfucks in the end. And then you had Matt Taven. He went after Carl Anderson. Well, actually, Mike Bennett, I should say. Mike Bennett. I keep saying Mike Bailey. Mike Bennett. Low blows Carl Anderson. And then that's when Matt Taven came in there and took out Carl Anderson as well. And then Eric Young picked up the scrap and gets the 3 count in the win. So at least Bound by Design are your still tag team champions. I'm relieved that the Good Brothers didn't win the belts, but at the same time, I am not relieved what they're going to be doing next, because they might be doing something with Honor No More versus Bullet Club because of that, or it could just be Honor No More of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of the Kingdom to go up against the Good Brothers. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it at all, and I didn't like that Honor No More was even a part of this whole thing of them being lumberjacks. And PCO was not in the pop, by the way. Pertains to the Honor No More. PCO was not one of them who was in that lumberjack because he's doing his own thing, which I'll get to more about why this whole thing, the whole situation with Honor No More. So, Gia Miller, she interviews the Knockouts World Champion, Chelsea Steels, who have Savannah Evans there. Basically, the whole thing of Mickey James is keeping Chelsea Green in the back, basically to not do anything to not help her. And then saying to Tasha, will you do the same thing? And Tasha Steels agreed to it at one point. But we'll get to her going up against that. So Eddie Edwards versus Rocky Romero have a decent match with Eddie Edwards getting the win. After the match, Rocky Romero will go for a handshake to Eddie Edwards, but Eddie Edwards decides to not give him a handshake because there is no more honor in the handshakes in pro wrestling. That's the whole purpose of honor no more. So Jonathan Gresham comes for the save. Rocky Romero, had a little shoving to Jonathan Gresham, and then all of a sudden, he put his hand out for a handshake, and then Rocky Romero was like, all right, because I guess in the way he lost his cool there, and whatever, I don't know. It was a weird situation there, but it's whatever. Zicky Dias has enjoyed his thing with Giant Stringer of being in Stringer's dungeon, and now they're doing the whole thing where they're going to be doing a one-on-one first ever Chump challenge. You heard me right. Speaking of the situation with the whole thing with Gian Prazo, I'll get to that eventually, another time, or maybe the next one of Impact, but we'll see. Knockouts World Champion Gian Prazo. I mean, not Gian Prazo. I wish he was, but hey, Ace Tasha Steels is finally getting on the rub. So yeah, the Knockouts World Champion Tasha Steels versus Mickie James in a street fight match for the Knockouts title. So they have that out. Started off pretty good. Yeah, I think if I can remember, trash cans, steel chairs. I don't remember if there was any candlesticks. That doesn't say there. Oh, there was a baseball bat though, from Dion. Not from Dion. I keep saying Dion Prazo. I love Dion Prazo though, but my God, I got her get her name out of my mind. Just for now. But Tasha Steels with a baseball bat. There you go. A trash, like I said, there's a trash can in there and all. I can't remember what weapons too there, but also this also led to over there on stage, and then Savannah Evans comes out of nowhere and clobbers Mickie James, and like, well, there goes that deal broken by Tasha Steels. Yeah, basically that's what happened with Savannah Evans getting involved. She didn't get too much involved in the match, which I'm glad that didn't happen. But then also where it came to close where Mickie James was going to win. That's when Savannah Evans got involved, and then they started beating up on Mickie James. Also, Chelsea Green comes out. She brings in a steel chair, sets it up, sits down, actually watches on Mickie James get her ass kicked. To talk from pertains to Savannah Evans and Tasha Steels, and Tasha Steels goes for the win with the frog splash and gets the win and still champion. Mickie James looking all distraught, confused. Also, he starts slapping Chelsea Green, and they start trying to slap each other to a point where Chelsea Green left the ring. And then all of a sudden, Mack Cardona, the Impact Digital Media Champion, comes in, gives Mickie James the radio silent, and then to add more insult to injury, Chelsea Green, I can't remember what she did, but she put more damage, basically inflicted more pain onto Mickie James. I believe with the steel chair. I could be wrong, and that's how the show ended. So yeah, Chelsea Green has finally turned heel. She finally turned heel along with some with her husband, Mack Cardona, and there you go. Nothing more to say about that. Now, as far as the show itself wasn't really that special to me, so it was kind of lackluster in a way, but it's still decent in a way. But I'll give it a 6 out of 10, just to be generous. So, but that'll do it for that edition for the March 24th of 2022.
And finally, the final edition for all March will be March 31st, 2022. The final March, the final date of March, I should say, of 2022. So, let's see here. As they're building up this whole thing of the multiverse of matches at WrestleCon, Josh Alexander, he comes in. He's pissed off again because this time what happened at Saturday's Destiny Wrestling event that happened in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So they showed footage of it, and now it pertains on the Saturday. I'm assuming it was the Saturday that happened. Let me look at the calendar. I could double check. Where is that calendar? Is it? Oh, okay. No, that's not it. I thought I saw it here. Where is that calendar? Oh, here it is. I forgot I put it in the middle of this. Anyways, it was back on the 26th of March. Yeah, so it was on that date. That's what happened. So what happened on that episode? I mean, on that show, I should say. Josh Alexander was celebrating with his wife and his son in the ring. I don't know what match he had, but he celebrated his match there. All of a sudden, Moose comes out of nowhere and goes for the lights out spear to his wife, to Jen Alexander. Jen, I should say, Jen Alexander. Because she's married to Josh Alexander. She's got kids with, so. And yes, she's a wrestler too, by the way. What was her wrestling name again, by the way? I gotta look it up. In fact, let me look up here. Oh, I'm using my mobile phone right here. Silly me. I don't think she's on Wikipedia, but let me type in Josh Alexander just in case, just to find out. Maybe her name will appear there. All right, Josh Alexander, wrestler, because there's three different Josh Alexanders. All right, where's personal life? There we go. Jae Chung, that's her name. Okay. Oh, she is on Wikipedia. Cool. So yes, Jane Chung is her wrestling name. Her real name is Jennifer Leum. She's Canadian, by the way, but I think she also got the some kind of Asian yes, because she's Chinese as well. She's got Chinese descent, so it makes sense because of how she looks. But she's married to Josh Alexander, and which is why she's she's Jennifer Alexander. She's Jennifer Alexander. In fact, is Josh Alexander even his real last name? Let me see. Oh no, that's not his real. It's not his real name. But his name is Joshua Liam. So yeah. There you go. In fact, pertains to his wife. What was her real name? I don't think it's Jane Chung though, because Jay Chung is her wrestling name. I guess she decided to just have her to keep her last name, I guess. Cause I'll see her last name is here. No, oh well, but yeah, but Jennifer Lem. Anyway, the point is Jennifer LeMay got speared by Moose, and it's fitting too because she's a wrestler. If she wasn't a wrestler, like for example, Shawn Michaels' wife, what's her? I forgot her name. Sarah? No, it's not Sarah. I gotta look up her name because she must be in WCW as a member of the Nitro Girls. So Shawn Michaels. I apologize, folks. This could be a long review too, by the way. Obviously, it's going to be either way because this is the March edition of it. So for Impact Wrestling, Rebecca. There we go. Rebecca. Sorry. I was trying to remember what was her name. I was probably thinking of someone else named Sarah, but it was Rebecca. So, anyways, oh crap, I didn't mean to press that. But anyways, back to the show. So yes, that's the footage of the show. Pertains to happen at Destiny Wrestling. Josh Alexander's wife got speared, Jane Chung, and Josh Alexander walks in. He's pissed. He meets up with Scott Demoy. Scott Demoy tries to calm him down, and then he basically grabs Scott Demoy, like ram him into the gate and all that. Basically, Moose wasn't there, by the way, because here's the thing too. Anthem board of directors were thinking about stripping Moose of the title and just and Josh Alexander, no, you're not stripping him of anything. I'm gonna strip that title away from Rebellion, and which, by the way, it's gonna happen. So, that's what happened. And Josh Alexander, when he did that to Scott Demoy's like, okay, I get it. So he basically tried to to tell Josh Alexander to go home, whatever, blah blah blah. He's he let him push him around like that because he should he's not in the mood basically. So, anyways. All right, so there you go. That's all there is to it. By the way, Josh Alexander versus Matt Folsom. We'll get to that later. That match has been scheduled to happen. So, here we go. Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham went up against Kenny King, and guess who wins? Kenny King didn't win. So, I remember he cut a promo. Okay, I remember now. Jonathan Gresham, the Ring of Honor World Champion, who addressed Kenny King, because he talks about since the founding of Ring of Honor. He named drops like guys like Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and then he even talked about Eddie Edwards too. Also, Kenny King comes out, and he starts talking about how Jonathan Gresham is a puppet for Ring of Honor in a way, and there's led to a match between them, between Jonathan Gresham and Eddie King. I was gonna say Eddie Kingston. No. Kenny King, I should say. And Jonathan Gresham wins. And think about this too. Kenny King coming back to Impact Wrestling, part of Honor No More. Now he feels like he's less important now because he lost. Edwards comes out to attack Jonathan Gresham. Rocky Romero comes out for the save, and that was it. Most of the Machine Guns, let's talk about the controversial win that they had. And they're gonna do it again when they beat them in the rematch, which is being on this show. So we'll get to that. Gia Miller interviews the champ, the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, and the AAA Reino del Reyno's champion, Deonna Purrazzo. Just about at the multiversal matches, she's gonna have another challenge for the champ because the champ is here. Now, unfortunately, she's no longer the champ because Ring of Honor decided to have the Supercard of Challenge. The Supercard of Challenge, the Supercard of Honor, I should say. With Deonna Purrazzo, she didn't wrestle. I don't think she wrestled on that show. She should have though, because if you're gonna have the title belt to be a Ring of Honor, be back in Ring of Honor because now they're back full time now. Deonna Purrazzo surely defended it. I don't think she defended it at all. But I don't know. I haven't seen the show yet, so I gotta find out, see how it happened there. But I know who's the champion now. I know who's the new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion is, which I am happy with for her. But I'll get to that when I get to it. Excuse me. But yeah, there you go. The champ is here, like I said. Speaking of champ, which is not the case at all, because we get to the Chump Challenge by Giant Swinger with Ziggy Dice. So Ziggy Dice has a match against now it was supposed to be like a 1-on-1 match thing, but look, but of what I'm reading here, look at it was a tag match. But of what I saw it was a 1-on-1 match between Ziggy Dice against the Chump to accept the challenge was one of the Good Brothers and Carl Anderson. So Carl Anderson is a Chump according to Giant Swinger. So of course, Um, the Good Brothers won. Doc Gallows. Carl Anderson, I should say, won. But there you go. So much for the Jump Challenge. That's now ended. Jim Miller catches up with the Good Brothers. Good Brothers cuts a promo about they want the shot at the tag team titles. They want the belts back, I should say. At Rebellion when they enter that 8-team elimination challenge, and after that they said they're gonna beat the Briscoes at the multiverse of matches. So there you go. There's I forgot to mention something about Jonah. Jonah cut a promo on the last episode of Impact Wrestling about PCO. So that's all I want to say from there. So then also we get to this part where PCO is having a brawl with Jonah Max, at the parking lot, and they killing each other in this in a way, and then in the end it was PCO getting the win, and then he pours dirt onto Jonah, basically assuming that he buried him, and that was it. And keep in mind, PCO from Honor No More doing his own thing. More on that later. Matt Fulton versus Josh Alexander. You have Austin there for Matt Fulton. Didn't last long because Josh Alexander won in a matter of minutes. After the match, Josh Alexander did not want to let go of the hole because he had him in the ankle lock. And basically, so not only Josh Alexander beat Matt Fulton, which reminder, Matt Fulton, the reason why this match happened is because Matt Fulton saved Moose for Josh Alexander making a big mistake of trying to kill Moose. And again, I talked about this before. The last person I would think about, trying to save Moose's life from Josh Alexander is someone like a Matt Fulton. So Matt Fulton ends up having a match against Josh Alexander because of this whole thing, because Josh Alexander hit Matt Fulton. Because Matt Fulton was doing the right thing. And keep in mind, a heel, a monster like Matt Fulton is doing the right thing by saving a man's life. So we get to this match and he gets destroyed by Josh Alexander. He has some offense too, but let's be honest, they've been treating him like garbage. After OVE ended. But Matt Fulton ends up being an ankle lock, and not only he loses, he taps out. And then Josh Alexander will not let go. Ace Austin gets in there to approach him. Only for Josh Alexander to break the hole and to confront Ace Austin, and the Ace Austin decides to bail. There was basically no interactions. No altercation, I should say. And then Josh Alexander continues to get him Matt Fulton from the ankle, and then Ace Austin just walks away. And he looks he's destruct too and all, that he had to walk away because he didn't want no part of Josh Alexander because of the mood that he's in, which I don't blame him too. But at the same time, and then Matt Fulton gets his ankle snapped by Josh Alexander, snapping his ankle so badly that his boots came off, or shoes, or whatever it was. So yeah, Matt Fulton, his ankle has been broken and he's been carried out after that too, and I see myself, wow, is that the end of Matt Fulton? Is that all he wrote? Is he gone too? Is he gonna be leaving to Impact Wrestling? I've seen something like this done before. Hernandez gone. Or Ray Rajul. I don't know if that's the case with him or not, but after what happened with him, gone. And now you got Matt Fulton on that list. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. After this whole thing happened, X-Division champion Trey Miguel talks to Mike Bailey about, you shouldn't be trusting Ace Austin, especially what happened out there with Matt Fulton. And Mike Bailey is like, you worry about yourself, I'll worry about me, whatever. But he did in the calm way, because he's all about meditating and all, and he's that type of dude. Anyways, sorry. Basically says, he always expects the unexpected. So Gia Miller, she knocks on the locker room door of the digital media champion Matt Cardona. because she wants to talk to Chelsea Green about what happened with holding with Mickey James with the betrayal, and Matt Cardona's being a dick to her, and then he finally gets Chelsea Green, and then Chelsea Green talks about why she did what she did. She said, she did exactly what she did. She didn't help, and basically, so that Mickey James never gave her a shot at the title that she deserved, and and then they're gonna take care of her at multi-verse of matches, where Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green goes up against Nick Aldis and Mickey James. Mickey James cut a promo too, I think she did. Can't remember when it happened, but anyways, Madison Rayne versus Tina Dashwood versus Lady Frost versus Jordan Grace versus GCL Shaw versus Jessie McKay. There was no Cassie Lee in the match because she's of what they told the viewers that she's injured. She wasn't good to compete. So versus Havoc versus Rosemary versus Alicia Edwards versus Savannah Evans in the Knockouts World Championship #1 Contenders Battle Royale, where we're against the face Tasha Steelz, who was at ringside on commentary. And whoever wins this Battle Royale, I should say, gets to face her at Rebellion. So the match happens. It was decent for what it was, and then in the end, it was Rosemary winning. All I can say is it was not one of the influence. Rosemary will be facing Tasha Steelz for the Knockouts title at Rebellion. So there you go. Impact World Tag Team Champions, bound by design. They vowed to retain power and control in Impact Wrestling after their 8-man tag team, after their 8-team elimination challenge, let's say, at Rebellion. Aiden Prince versus Guja, and match itself was decent. Brian Myers was on commentary, by the way, his own commentary, I should say, and Guja wins the match. And after the match, W. Morrissey comes out once again, terrorizing Brian Myers. He almost got him too, but then Brian Myers grabbed the foot of Aiden Prince, who's still out there, and he escapes. And then Aiden Prince made a mistake by shoving W. Morrissey, which led to the BQE, which is the powerbomb that he does. On do on the table once again. Brian Myers of his stuff and all. So there you go. Masha Somovich versus Abby Jane, and Masha wins again. It's also showcase her. So Mickey James cut a promo too, by the way, where it tends to facing Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona alongside with her husband Nick Aldis. So, and she cut a promo about Chelsea Green and all, and there you go. And main event, Jay White and Chris Bay of Bullet Club versus Chris Sabin and Alex Shirley of Motion Machine Guns. They had a great match, but this time it was Bullet Club winning this time. So good match, great match. And that was it for the show. And basically, this show was the Gong Show edition for the multiverse of matches. Excuse me. My overall rating for the show, though, decent show for what it was. So I will give it a 6.5 out of 10. And now, folks, let's get to the elephant in the room, which is Honor No More. What's the point and the purpose of Honor No More now? Because Honor No More, this whole thing, it did work out first when they're invading and all that, but ever since they won the match with them being allowed in, I think they should have lost the match, to be honest with you, because that way they could continue to try to invade and all in a way, because that's the whole thing they were doing. They was doing the whole invasion angle where Ring of Honor guys left because Ring of Honor was going on the hiatus, but now that Ring of Honor is no longer on the hiatus because Tony Khan bought the company now, and now they're doing their own thing, and then we're seeing everything happen on that show. Yeah, Ring of Honor is gonna be fine too, just like AEW is gonna be fine without Cody Rhodes. So I don't see the purpose of Honor No More now, because they won, they're there now. They're not going to be doing anything wrong now with them being there. there's no purpose of Honor No More now. You could have Maria Kanellis manage Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, I should say, of the when it comes to the Kingdom. You could have Kenny King to go branch on his own, but after seeing what happened with Kenny King, he's now they're not doing any favors for him of his one-on-one push because he's losing his one-on-one matches. He's back to square one. Wait, he's back to where we started before in TNA wrestling, barely winning any matches. He feels less important than he was before. Vincent, you could do a lot of things with Vincent. You could have him have his own faction, where it is of his character was supposed to be, because the character that he used to be was all about horror, with these balloons coming out of the ring, like he's Pennywise from It. And then with his dreadlocks too, because he's rocking a dreadlock looking like Rob Zombie, and also with the bushy beard too and all. Then you got because good. You could do a lot of things with that that whole thing with Vincent. I will go back. I will call him back. His name Vinny. However say his last name. But and then on top of that, Maria Kanellis, you could have her back in the ring if you want to for the knockouts. I don't know. Who else is on? Oh yeah, and then you got Eddie Edwards, who's not part of Honor No More because he was behind this whole thing the entire time. To be honest with you, this whole thing with Eddie Edwards turning heel to join Honor No More makes no sense to me at all. It should never happen. It should never been done. So there's no point in that either. Because what's happening with Honor No More now when it pertains to move forward? Especially we have PCO, who's also part of Honor No More, who's doing his own thing against Joshua. Jonah, I should say. So PCO, I don't mind him doing his own thing. Just got on mind, the rest of Honor No More. Now that they're there, they could do their own things. What is the purpose of Honor No More now that they're there? Because they won a match from No Surrender. There's no reason of them being a faction anymore. So why not break them apart and let them do their own thing? And Kenny King should never came back my way. If I knew Kenny King was going to be booked like this, losing matches like this, he should have never came back. He should have waited until Ring of Honor came back from the hiatus. To be honest with you. Because now he's screwed with Impact Wrestling again. But there you go. That's my thoughts about it. I was gonna go too long with that, so it was like because it's really not much to talk about. The faction is not a big deal as I thought it was going to be. So, but that being said, I'm gonna end from here. So, finally, I called Impact Wrestling for most of it. So, but artists from the Leslie Natural Born Driller, as I say, peace on the streets. Take care.